The left has a serious problem. They're losing their grip on the Latino community, and Donald Trump had a lot to do with that, along with failed Democrat policies, and the trend is continuing in the Republicans' favor. And so the left, like they do, is mobilizing. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is warning that George Soros has purchased Hispanic radio stations meant to target the Latino community, serving as propagandists to recapture the Latino bloc for the left. Joining me now is Florida Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez. Lieutenant Governor, thank you for joining us. And this is very disturbing. You know, we know about George Soros using his billions upon billions to buy liberal prosecutors around the country. Now he's actually going after a voting bloc in your state. Tell us how you know. What do you know, and what are you doing about it?
Well, you're right, Eric. And what we've seen through George Soros and his attempt to manipulate the elections through financing candidates that have a very radical left-wing agenda. But the other thing we do know is that he has been unsuccessful. He's been unsuccessful because what we see is more and more Latino voters, Hispanic voters, not just in Florida, but across the country, are leaving in a mass exodus. Why? Because they not only have failed platform and flawed candidates at every level, but they also do not understand that Hispanic voters, the one thing they care about most is being able to live out the American dream. So when George Soros and all his cronies scoff at the American dream and they try to undermine the very social fabrics and institutional fabrics that we have as part of our foundation here in this great country, that is when Hispanic voters wake up, they realize what he's about, and they're not going to stand for his propaganda and for his desire to control the narrative. That's why this.
So, Lieutenant Governor, I don't mean to cut you off here, but I'm looking at an ad by Governor Ron DeSantis and yourself. DeSantis' campaign warns South Florida voters of Soros-backed radio station takeover with Alerta ad. Tell us about the Alerta ad. What is Soros trying to do?
So he is investing $60 million to purchase radio stations across the country. But ask yourself, is it a business proposition? Is it a business deal? No. It is specific radio stations that are known for having conservative viewpoints. So what do they do? What is part of their playbook? Control the media, control the narrative, control the spin, and they think they can control the minds, the hearts, and the souls of voters. But again, Hispanic voters are keen. They understand full well when they're being lied to, and when people are trying to manipulate them with a disinformation campaign, the likes of which George Soros is trying to do. So these radio stations, one here in South Florida in particular, is iconic. It has been the voice of conservative viewpoint for so long. It has fought the cause of a free Cuba. It has fought alongside so many important elected officials that are clamoring to make sure that we preserve the American dream. Like I said at the onset, Hispanics want to live, they want to prosper, they want their kids to be educated, not indoctrinated. That's why we're seeing people leave the Democrat Party and come to the Republican Party, and that's why you're going to see a landslide election in November.
Lieutenant Governor, Donald Trump won 28% of the Latino vote in 2016 against Hillary Clinton. He won 38%, so he gained 10% in 2020 against Joe Biden. Florida has a very robust Latino Hispanic community. Tell us where they fall. Where are they moving more towards conservatism or away from it? And does the Joe Biden policies of high gas prices, is this pushing Hispanics more towards conservatism?
Well, the numbers that you shared, I think, are proof, right, that the Hispanics are moving way more to the right. They are adopting and embracing conservatism as the only method that truly works to guarantee their liberties, to guarantee their opportunities. And so what we've done here in Florida is do just that, preserve people's liberties, allow for people to flourish, not trample on constitutional guarantees that we have. And so when you see voters move more and more in the direction of conservatism, when you see, again, not just here in Florida, but throughout the country, precincts and districts and counties that were overwhelmingly blue vote red, I think that is a very disturbing thing. And you see the Democrat, all the operatives, they are concerned, so much so that I think that they have given up on Florida. You see a lot of talk about which states are going to be battleground states. Florida, in its heyday, we had, during the Obama years, Democrats had a 600,000 voter registration advantage over Republicans. And I am proud to say that today, because of the great work that our administration has done, because people